Your first mistake was moving off from a parked position. Now, you make this mistake a lot where you turn your wheel to the right quite a lot, which means when you move off, your car's going to move off that way. You should move off forward. If you've got no car in front of you, you should move off forward and then slide to the right. If you move off directly to the right that way, there's no way you can undo a mistake. If you went by mistake, you can't undo it. Whereas if you went forward and then you realize you moved by mistake, then you can just stop in the parking area here, well, in the area in front of you where you've parked. So this is what happened. Bear in mind, there's a hump next to you, just behind your car. That's probably why the car behind slowed down a little bit, and you thought they'd let you go. They didn't. They gave no signal to you that they're going to let you go. They didn't wave at you. They didn't flash their light at you. Can you see how violently your car moved to the right into the path of traffic? If you had moved off forward, it wouldn't have been as severe, and there's less chance of it being as dangerous as it was. Okay, so this would be a serious fault. You've moved off. The car that's coming up behind you has slowed down for the hump, but has not slowed down to let you pass. Now here I've said take the second exit at the roundabout, and you automatically assumed it's going to be a right turn. Okay, so second exit doesn't automatically mean it's going to be a right turn. You've got to look at the signboard and see where the second exit is. Now, it's not going to be a fault because you did check your right mirror when you moved into the right-hand lane, but don't assume the second exit will be a right turn. This was during the mock test. You've come up to the end of the road and there's a lady there with her dog. You've waved her across to cross the road. You can't do that, okay? So don't wave at anyone to encourage them to cross the road, because if they're not looking for other traffic coming in other directions, they might go on the assumption that it's safe because you've told them it's safe, and they might get hit by another car coming from a different direction. This was during the mock test. You've come up around the bend and there's a car in front of you, and you can see the car's pulled to the side to let you through, and you've gone right into the tree. Okay, so I had to stop you there, verbally tell you stop, because you're going to hit the tree. You're going to hit the tree, it's going to scratch the car. If there's a big hard branch, it could do a lot of damage to the car. Okay, the other car had waited for you. You actually had priority there, not priority, but you could have gone because they gave you priority. But if you do wait for the car, don't hit the tree. Okay, it's an obstruction, don't hit it. So I had to get you to back up and then go around the tree. Okay, so far during the mock test, you've made 2 serious faults that you'd fail for. Waving at the lady to cross and almost hitting the tree. Then we did the reverse in a straight line for 2 car spaces maneuver. By the time you finished this maneuver, you were too far away from the curb. Okay, you were about 1 meter away from the curb. You've got to be about the same distance that car is from the curb by the time you finish. You were about 1 meter away. You were about, the side of your back tire was about here. Okay, this far from the curb, and your car was sticking out about this much. We were going right at this roundabout second exit. You should give a signal now. Okay, so give a signal now, just before you enter. You've given it just now. Okay, it's a bit late. Okay, other cars that are trying to join into the roundabout, especially from this exit, from that exit, if a car's trying to join in, it doesn't see a signal, they might assume you're going to turn left, and they might join in front of where you're about to drive into. So you've got to give a signal to let everyone know where you're going. Okay, so on the maneuver, you've got a serious fault. Then you've got a minor fault for signaling late on the roundabout. Now here, we were turning right at this traffic light, and the light just changed as we went through it, but we did get through it. So the lights changed now, and now you've kind of paused here. And I had to prompt you, keep going. Because if you pause in the middle of the junction, it's gonna let the cars from your left come and join behind this car, and then you'll be stuck in no man's land, okay, in the middle of the junction. So you can't wait in the middle of the junction, especially if the lights just changed. Go as far forward as you can, okay, which is behind this white car in this occasion. And that way, when the cars from your left get a green light, they'll come and join behind you, rather than you being stuck in no man's land in the middle of the junction with nowhere to go, with cars all around you, and you blocking the cars coming from that direction if you're stuck in the middle of the junction. Okay, now we're queuing up for this temporary traffic light. The light just changed and went to green, and we're all starting to go now. Now, can you see how the cars are leaving you behind? And you're not really making much progress. Look at your speedometer down here, it's very slow. The cars are leaving you behind. Afterwards, you said you don't want to use the cycle lane. The cycle lane is a broken line, so you can use it. The cars have left you behind. This is where I kind of have to prompt you, keep going, you know, make progress, keep up with traffic, because the light might change and it might let these cars, you know, go soon, and then you'll be stuck again in no man's land. Okay, next we're coming downhill here, and there's a hump coming up, and rather than slowing down, you're speeding up, you're letting the car speed up. And here I've had to take the brakes because the hump is quite broken as well. It would have been quite violent going over that hump at the speed you're going at. Okay. Now the examiner might say to you, you know, what if you have children in the car? What if you have an old person in the car? It's not going to be very comfortable for them. Okay, I've heard them say this in the past. Okay, so be careful with your speed, especially going downhill. Next, we're on this same road, and there's a traffic calming measure coming up here. So eventually we have to go around it, and you've made no check to your right mirror to go around this. So you've gone from the left lane into the right hand lane, and you've not checked your right mirror. Okay, so this would be a serious fault, something you'd fail for. Then coming back to the left lane here, so you see what the sign just said, left, okay, at the roundabout, and you've tried to stay in that side of the road. Okay, this is a monumental error. Okay, this is the biggest error so far of today's lesson. And I said, get back to your side, get back to your side. Okay, so I'm very disappointed with this mistake. Okay, this shouldn't even be happening in your first lesson. I'm just so disappointed with this mistake. Here we have to use the opposite lane because there's parked cars in our lane. Now, when you come back to your lane, you need to check your left wing mirror. You haven't done this here. Okay, so you must check your left wing mirror when you steer slightly back to your left to get back to your lane. So we was on the dual carriageway, and the sat-nav said in so many yards we're going to take the exit. And then when you did change lanes, you didn't check your wing mirror at all. So after 800 yards, take the exit. And then when you change lanes to the left to take the exit, you did not check the left wing mirror at all. Okay? So you were a bit confused, and then when you decide to change, you start moving over, your car's already over, and you haven't checked the left mirror. Okay, so this would be a serious fault for not checking the mirror. And this is about 10 seconds later. The sat-nav says go straight on, then go right at the roundabout. So it's already prompting you to move into the right-hand lane behind the white van. Okay, so it says go right at the roundabout. So you've got plenty of time to move into the right-hand lane. Just told you again. And you're still not going to the right-hand lane. You're not checking in the mirror to move into the right lane. And then here I've told you, do you know where you're going? And then it's too late. There was a car already beside you on your right. You couldn't move into the right-hand lane. And then you tried to move into the right-hand lane. You tried to cut into the right-hand lane in front of this car here. And I said, don't try it. Do not try it. The car is not going to know you're there. No, don't try it, don't try it. It's not going to know you're there. This is not something you should be doing. If you're in the wrong position, you should not inconvenience other drivers. Carry on in the lane you're in. And then later on, if an opportunity comes up to move into the right-hand lane when there's no traffic and you're not going to slow anyone down, then you could do it. If that opportunity doesn't come up, just carry on going where the lane you're in, which is the middle lane, takes you. So after we got into the roundabout, then the right hand lane became more clear, and then you moved into the right hand lane, which is okay now, but not before, when there's a lot of cars queuing up and you would inconvenience them. You'd slow them down, you'd make them brake, you'd surprise them, you'd hold up traffic in your lane perhaps as well. That before, do not try and change then. When you haven't got into the correct lane, don't inconvenience other people. So we changed lanes later on when the right hand lane was more clear. We came here and turned left. You saw the sign on the floor and the blue sign, and you turned left. And then the next road, I gave you a little hint on what to do.
At the end of this one-way road, take a right.
You see here, there's a one-way sign. There's only one on this side. There isn't one on this side. So sometimes the examiner will say to pupils, at the end of the one-way road, you're going to be turning right. If they say that, then that's a big, massive help to you. If they don't say it, you would need to see that sign, and there's another sign further on, and you need to position correctly at the end when you turn right. So I'm going to rewind.
This one-way road, take a right turn.
Okay, so that's a hint. It's a one-way road. And you use the wrong side of the road. Okay, so when you turn right, you must be as far to the right as you can on a one-way road.
On the one-way road.
So people turning left should go here, and people turning right should come here. The give way line is all the way across the road. It says no entry, no one's allowed to enter into the road. Give way line is all the way across. You must be on this side to turn right out of a one-way road. Okay, it is a serious fault, something you'll fail for. And then after we got to the end, a van pulled up beside you on your right, wanted to turn right, and then the van kind of stopped there because it saw your signal, it saw you on the wrong lane, and it let you go first. But even if the van's not there on the test, you would fail. Okay, so you must be on the right hand side of the road if you're turning right.
Leave it on the road, don't go over the pavement.
So here I've asked you to pull over on the left, leave your car on the road, don't go over the pavement. In a suitable place. Now you see there's double yellow lines here. You've stopped your car on a double yellow line. So just a bit further, there are lots of suitable places. There, further on there, further on there. There's lots of spaces there. So you cannot stop on a double yellow line.